Elder Ephraim of Mount Athos was a disciple of Elder Joseph the Hesychast. In 1973 he himself became abbot of his monastery and went on to rejuvenate 3 other monasteries, giving them new life and discipline. Elder Ephraim was called by God to bring monastic life, the monastic wisdom of the wilderness of Mount Athos, to North America. And in a few decades he has established 18 monasteries in the USA and also monasteries in Canada. Elder Ephraim, yes, brings the wisdom of the desert, the wisdom of Mount Athos to the people of North America for their nourishment, for their encouragement, to help them struggle to find salvation. But also he says the work of Antichrist, which is to come, will begin in the Americas. And so he recognized God's call to establish monastic life in North America, to help those who would hear the message of God to prepare themselves for what is to come. What follows are short teachings from Elder Ephraim, teachings on the spiritual life, guidance, wisdom, to help us find salvation. Elder Ephraim says to us, we have commandments both from God and the devil. God commands us to love one another. The devil commands us to hate each other. It is up to us to decide whose commandments we will obey and whose disciples we will make ourselves. In the New Testament, St. John reminds us that if we cannot love our brother who we have seen, how can we imagine that we will love God who we have not seen? Elder Ephraim says to us, our salvation depends on other people, depends on our brother. He goes as far to say, if we have seen our brother, we have seen God. He warns us to guard the heart and watch our thoughts, telling us that those thoughts that accompany coldness of heart towards other people, enmity towards other people, invariably lead to demonic hatred. Elder Ephraim encourages us to arm ourselves with every spiritual weapon as we enter the arena. But he says especially we must arm ourselves with humility, because at humility the demons tremble. He reminds us that had not the apostles sacrificed themselves, we would not be heirs to the kingdom of God. We would not even be Christians. And so we struggle, not just for our own salvation, for the good of everyone to come. If we had no temptations, we wouldn't know humility. We wouldn't know what it is to fall. And our pride, Elder Ephraim says, would make us like the demons, turn us into devils. Our good God permits us to be tempted, even allows us to fall, that we may know humility. And Elder Ephraim says, it is humility that will lighten the burden of our sin. Just as gold is purified through its heating, so too we struggle and we suffer for our purification. And Elder Ephraim says to us, God permits us suffering, God permits us temptation, so that finding ourselves in the other world, we won't be in that condition where we have nothing to show, to say that we have struggled for his kingdom and for him. When asked how we put Christian love into action, Elder Ephraim instructs us, always overlook the faults and the sins of our neighbours. Always reproach ourselves. Focus on our own shortcomings, our own sins. And when we truly reproach ourselves and are blind to our neighbour's failings, Elder Ephraim says, only then will we truly be able to love even as God commands us to love. Teaching about the Jesus prayer, he says we should say it constantly, inwardly and outwardly, particularly during the day. Elder Ephraim says to us, it is useful to say the Jesus prayer audibly with our lips, because at this time during the day when we're working and distracted, the mind is bombarded with many things, and it's helpful to speak the prayer aloud.